All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be checking out, we got two quick little updates for today's video. This will probably be a shorter video than normal. We have two things to talk about. Number one is going to be the market watch. We got a quick miniature market watch. I will still be doing one on the 15th like normal, but with EB02 just being released in the West, we do have to talk about the market, okay? That's the first thing we're going to do. And then after that, we're going to head over to some new spoilers that have come out. Okay, we got some really cool new cards we have to talk about coming out in OP12. All right, so that is the entire agenda for today's video. I'll have everything time-stamped down in the general description and any kind of relevant links or anything like that in the comments section below. Okay, guys? If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link will be in the channel description. Now, let's do this, guys. First things first, we are going to check out the market watch before we get into the spoilers here. Look at my guy, Silver's Rayleigh. Standing tall, standing strong. What an absolute beast. The absolute GOAT, if you will. Okay, EB02 has been released in the West. That was last night, or yesterday, basically, you know, Friday. It came out, you know, May 9th. So, let's talk about some things real quick. Everything is actually pretty okay to buy as far as like commons go, and I don't know, you know, commons or uncommons. I don't know if there are any uncommons in this set. I think there were just, is it just commons, rares, SRs, and secrets in EB sets? I'm not exactly sure. Whatever the case is, the only cards that I would really be hesitant, to buy right now, we're going to talk about. I think, I'll just try to go through them pretty quickly here. Everything on this top row looks pretty much fine to buy. 50 cents for a card. I know it's just a common or a rare. It'll probably go down in price over time, but 50 cents to $1 for any card. Who's really complaining about that? But going into the SRs, I want to focus more on the SRs and the one secret rare that came out in this set. This card NL is going for like $8 right now. I do expect this one to go down in price. And that's not to say this is a bad card or anything. This is actually an excellent card. I just don't see it sitting at the $8 price point. But who knows? Like I've said before, guys, when it comes to the EB sets, you just you literally never know what to expect with these extra booster sets. EB01, in my personal opinion, was an absolute disaster. Not the cards in it. The cards in it were very good and very useful. They were good cards for the game. However, something about the short print run or whatever, the pull rates, whatever it might have been, EB01, in my personal opinion, from a market standpoint, was a total disaster, unless, I guess unless you're running a shop, you know, selling cards. But for the players, it was not so great. Okay, so when it comes to NL, I would probably hold off on getting this card for a while, and I would let the prices settle. And I say this every time, guys. Anytime a new set comes out in the game of One Piece, at first, the prices are astronomical. They are way too high, and they almost always go down from there. There's probably been a few situations where they have not gone down. In fact, they've like stayed the same or something, or they've gone down over time but then gone back up over time. But hear me out. In the case of these SRs from EB02, I think they're pretty much all going to go down in price over time. We'll have to see. I can't make any promises. Like I said, EB01 has left a very bad taste in most people's mouths, but I do think that will be the case. Like NL, I think will go down in price. I think this Vegapunk. Now, this is one of the only ones actually that probably stay around like a $5 price, and I actually think the NL will drop down to $5, and the same thing with this Vegapunk. I think this will go down over time. Same idea. Well, no, like, see, for example, like with Yamato and Nefeltari Vivi over here, I expect these to drop well under $5. Could be wrong. Who knows? Arlong is at $1. Actually, it looks like it's about $2. The prices are not exactly settled yet. So, for example, when you look at this price on the front here, it usually takes about 2 weeks for prices to settle in this game. At least that's what I've noticed. You know, there's the pattern that I've picked up on playing this game now. You know, I've been playing it since Block 1. And from what I've seen, in fact, I got into the game almost on set 1. I got into it on set 2. And from what I've noticed is that the market takes about 2 to 3 weeks to really kind of settle to where the prices are going to be right where they are. So if I were you and you're trying to buy these cards, please keep your eye out for that. Also, if you're going to be buying from TCGplayer.com, please do not forget to use my TCG Player affiliate link. I would really appreciate it. It helps me out big time. But yeah, like this Arlong here, notice how it says hang on, let me go back. It says 80 cents right here. That's not right. Market price is $1.82. That's also not right. When you go into the very first thing here, notice how it's really about $2.50. I expect that card to go down in price. And again, that's what I was trying to say just a minute ago, is we have to wait for the market to adjust and like to settle, is the word that I like to use, to where it kind of sits at a very consistent price. And we're not at that yet. This is the day after release at the time you're recording this and putting this video out. This is a day after the release. So yes, of course, these cards are going to fluctuate and move up and down. But I think most of them will move down as opposed to move up, right? Now, Sanji and Pudding, this is kind of the big SR from the set. We'll talk about the big secret rare from the set in just a minute. This is the big SR from the set. I think if this thing gets down to $10, it will be worth every penny of it, because this is just the SR of the set. Like I said, I hate to sound so repetitive, but this is the one, right? This card right here, this card is where it's at for EB02 for the SR slot. There are some others as well, like Vegapunk. If you're playing Vegapunk. And I will say this too, guys, you know, one thing that drives these early market prices to be so high is, like, say you're a Sky Island player and you've been waiting for this Enel to come out. Well, this will probably be the most expensive card in that deck if you don't already, you know, well, it'll definitely be the most expensive card in that deck out of everything from EB02. So it's like, if you already have all your cards and like, oh, okay, I just have to spend like, what, 24 bucks, maybe 32 bucks for the entire playset of the best card that I need. And who knows, with the 10 cost Enel, I don't know if we're going to need 4 of those. It depends what you're playing. Like, if you're running Calgara, you might only need 1 or 2 of this card. If you're playing Enel, you'll probably want 4 of these, 3 or 4 of these, because it does have a ton of value in that deck. But generally speaking, okay, so I just have to spend about 30 bucks. I have my playset of what I need for all of EB02, and that's what drives those prices. People are like, yeah, I'm just going to get this and be done with it so I can move on. But if you're trying to save money, if you're trying to buy things at the most reasonable price point, I would wait a good 2 to 3 weeks after a release. I know that's hard to do. Guys, in 2 to 3 weeks, I think OP11 is going to come out in the West, right? Someone help me out in the comment section below if I'm off on that, but I'm pretty sure that OP11 is coming out very soon. So it's like, okay, wait, so I have to wait 2 to 3 weeks in order to get these cards at a reasonable price, and that's when OP11 comes out? Well, I think the answer is yes, and I would do that, because think about what that's going to allow you to do. So you wait about 2 to 3 weeks, you save money on waiting for some of these prices to go down, and then what happens? OP11 comes out. I wouldn't buy that stuff right away. People who buy boxes, that's a little bit different. I'll try to talk about that in a second. I'll try to at least address that in just a second here. But, like, the way that I'm going to do it, I'll tell you guys my game plan. Hey, do you guys want to know what the VV Theory is doing on this? I'll tell you my game plan. Okay, I'm going to wait 2 weeks before I buy any of these cards. Okay, and then from there, I'm going to be monitoring it every single day, kind of seeing like, okay, this card looks like it's still going down in price. This card looks like it's staying the same. This card looks like it's going up in price, and I'm going to make all my decisions based on that over the course of the next 2 to 3 weeks. And then by that time, OP11 is going to come out, and by that time, I should at least have my purchases all lined up for EB02. Then OP11 is going to come out, and I'm going to enjoy the EB02 cards that are coming in, and I'm going to wait for the OP11 market to settle down, because I'm going to do the exact same thing with them, you know, or with that set. I'm going to wait 2 to 3 weeks for the prices to go down, and I'm going to order after that. That's just the way that I do things. That's the way that I do it. Now, one thing I will mention, let's talk about the boxes real quick before I forget about that. If you like to buy boxes, I totally understand that, but I don't understand buying these EB02 boxes at 200 USD. Absolutely not. That is a hard no for me. I will never buy a box for this price. This is outrageous in my personal opinion. You know, and that's fine. It is what it is, guys. If you have no problem with it, oh yeah, let me see something. Yeah, look at this, guys. Product breakdown. It has it right here. There's 1 liter, commons, rares, super rares, secret rares, special cards. So yeah, there are no uncommons in the extra booster sets, so good stuff there. Maybe that's why the set is so small. I don't know. Who knows? Whatever the case is, $200 for a box of these. No way. Sorry, I can't do it. That's just that is an unreasonable price for me, in my personal opinion. And this is something I always talk about. This is one thing I don't understand. Maybe someone can explain this in the comment section below. I've mentioned this in previous videos. I know I mention it whenever I stream all the time. But one thing that, like, Flesh and Blood does correctly is their boxes are extremely reasonably priced. But I think it's because in their sets, they have, like, 250 cards in them, whereas this extra booster set probably has about 80 cards in it. Like, 80 different cards, I'm saying. In fact, if I wanted to, I could probably do the math right. Oh, it's right here. Beautiful. Thank goodness, they already did it for me. So there's 87 cards in this box, right? There's 87 different kinds of cards, different options. Whereas in Flesh and Blood, there's like 250 to 300 different options. But their boxes end up being extremely low price, like under $100 for a box. Yet, at the same time, that card game is way more expensive. So I don't know where the balance is there, because in One Piece, it's the opposite. In One Piece, the boxes are insanely overpriced, but the actual cost of each card individually is relatively cheap. Whereas in Flesh and Blood, it's the opposite. Each individual card you need, like the Majestics and special, like the super rare cards in that game, and like the secret rare cards in that game, the equivalent of them, in that game, they're extremely expensive for the individual cards, and the boxes cost you almost nothing. So I think Bandai's very close to doing things just the right way, where cards have a perfect level of rarity, where they're accessible enough for everyone to still play with them. But at the same time, I think the boxes are just a little bit too expensive, and I don't know what's doing that. Like I said, whatever's doing it, I hope they figure it out, because I did love buying boxes, and I think at some point, guys, I would like to start buying boxes again, just for channel content, because I know a lot of people love watching the box openings. I'm not spending $200 on a box, guys, because, I mean, what's the only way you break even? If you pop open the manga? Well, yeah, like, you know, 1 in 1,000 people are probably going to be able to do that. You know, it's like, no, sorry, guys. That's just me. I guess I'm a stingy, frugal old man. But, yeah, that is how I've always been with card games. I've said this before. I've never said for boxes, but let me say that now. The most I will ever spend on an individual piece of cardboard, okay, and we're not talking about Altars. I'm talking about, like, the lowest rarity of a card. The most money I would ever spend on a card, and it was like if I had no other choice, would be around $45 to $50. And guys, I haven't had to buy a card for that price since I played Magic the Gathering. Okay, like, we're talking, it's been that long ago, and that was back with, like, Jace the Mind Sculptor way back in, I don't know, it was sometime around Zendikar or something like that, or Shards of Alara. I don't even remember how long ago it was. But whatever the case is, like, okay, when it comes to an individual card, I will not buy one for over $40, generally speaking, but 50 is where I would absolutely draw a hard line in the sand, will not do it. Any game that sells cards at their lowest rarity for over $50 a card, I can't get into it. I just can't do it. I'd rather do proxies or something. Who knows? For the more competitive players, you have to do what you have to do, right? It is what it is. But yeah, when it comes to booster boxes, I don't think I will ever spend over $150 on a booster box, guys. Again, that's just me. Everybody buy at your own discretion, but that's the way that I would conduct business. Yeah, that's the way that I conduct my own finances, my own budget and spending. But I will not be spending over $150 for a box. This one is $200 for a box. Not happening. Okay, that's just my personal recommendation there. You guys do what y'all want to. Okay. So I would keep my eye on Sanji and Pudding. This Sengoku, I expect every card to go down that you see on this page. Every single card you see on this page, even the, you know, some of these are just like rares or whatever. I expect every single card on this page to go down in price. Okay, some might not. We'll have to see what happens over time. But I do expect this Sanji and Pudding card to probably settle around the $10 mark. Because if you actually think about the practicality and the usage of this card, it is only really, really good right now in Green Purple Luffy. And yes, Green Purple Luffy's doing very well. You know, it's a very strong deck, as we all very well know. That's why this card is as expensive as it is. Other than in Green Purple Luffy, I mean, what are you going to run in? Maybe Purple Black Luffy? Maybe Blue Purple Sanji in the future in OP12? There's going to be ways to run this card, but I think it's sitting around $10 is what I expect for it to be after everything is said and done, after the market calms down a little bit. Okay, now moving over to the next page, we do have to talk about the secret rare. I think it's on here somewhere. Here it is, front and center, right in front of me. This card is going for $65 USD right now. Always watch out for these the Japanese versions, guys, on TCG Player. For whatever reason, they put those right in here with everything else. I don't know why they do that. Please be careful. Just make sure anytime you see a picture, it is like that's usually like a that shows you, it signifies like, okay, this is a Japanese card. Because with the other ones, notice this, guys, like these are just normal English ones because there's no picture. So that is like the indicator, like, okay, there's a picture on it, then it's probably a Japanese card. Now, sometimes, look at this one. This one is an English card and it has a picture. But like I said, let me just say this. If you notice a card is extremely cheap or way cheaper than all the other ones, I would make sure you check for two things. Number one, what language is the card in? Like this one's in Japanese. And number two, what quality is the card? Notice how this one says near mint. Whoops. This one says near mint foil right here. Make sure it's I always try to buy at near mint foil. Anytime you see something that's like slightly used or like worn or well played or whatever the other options are, be really careful of that. And you could probably sort by that. There's probably some type of filter, a condition right here. Yeah, I would always go with near mint. I would always try to buy it near mint if you can help it. Okay. All right, so this card, no way I'm buying a card at this price, guys. Like I just said, I'm not buying a card for over $50. I'm not even going to hit the $50 mark. I'll just wait for a card to go down in price, or hey, I guess I just won't have that card. It is what it is for me. I'll just play a different deck, whatever. But yeah, guys, I do expect this card to go down in price. Now, I will say this, with the nature of these EB extra booster, or extra booster sets, if the card gets around the $40 to $50 mark, yeah, you might have to take your chances right then and there. Because as we've already seen, I don't want to get off the EB02, but I at least want to show, let me see if I type in Mr. 2, Bon Carré. Let's see if it brings it up like this. Hopefully it does. Nice, it did. So, like, this was the original EB set, the EB01 Extra Booster 1 set. There's only one secret rare in those, typically speaking. And for this one, it was Bon Carré, Mr. 2, Bon Carré Bentham. And this is a $50 card now, a year later. Like, this card came out like a year ago or something like that. I don't know the exact date. It's been out for some time now. It came out all the way back in EB01 in Block 2. Yeah, look, if I go back to 1 year in sales, look, it was literally out 1 year ago. So, in fact, you know, now that EB02 is out, it probably is like 1 year old, right? They're probably going to release the extra booster sets 1 year apart from each other. That would make sense at least. But here it is, guys. This is EB01, the secret rare in that set. It's still going for $53. Okay, so you have to really, you have to do some soul searching if you want to put down this kind of money for a card. We don't know when the next time we're going to run into something like Katakuri happens, right? For those who are not aware, let me see if I can bring up Katakuri real quick. There was a card called Katakuri. It was an 8-cost secret rare from all the way back in OP03. And if you go back 1 year, this was a card. Oh, hang on. This is the, sorry guys, this is the reprint one that came out. Let me go to the other one. There's the reprint. So here's the original one. Guys, if you look back over a year of sales, not even a full year ago, at the time you're recording this video, this card was selling for $75. This was from OP03. This is not from an extra booster set. So you never know when we're going to hit another card like this that ends up going into the $75, $85 range. However, one thing we do know is that, like I was just showing, like notice this is the original card. They did a reprint. Here's the reprint right here. Notice it has the disclaimer that, like, hey, this is a reprinted card, but it's still a legal card in the game. They did end up doing a reprint of this card once it hit a certain price point, and look what it did to the price. $6? Okay, I think we can all deal with a $6 secret rare. Seems good, especially for Katakuri. Very high, high quality secret rare. Very powerful secret rare. So with that in mind, let's go back now to this Luffy. The price is outrageous. I am not going to be buying at this price. I will wait. I would rather wait for a reprint, guys, just to finish my collection kind of thing. Because I do, for anyone who might be newer to the channel, I do always try to keep a playset of every single card in the game at the lowest rarity that's available. I don't do the alt arts at all. In fact, if I were to ever do alt arts, I typically tell people if I were to ever do alt arts, it would be for Dawn or it would be for leaders, because those are cards that like transcend whatever you end up including in the deck. Like the leader is always the leader, right? And the Dawn, you can move to every single deck. So I don't mind spending a little bit of extra money on Dawn cards. Okay, that's my personal thing, and the same thing with leaders of leaders I really like and enjoy. But anyway, let me not go down that tangent because I also like doing custom art. I like to do the custom art leaders from places like Kaizoku cards, what is it? Davidson TCG, Atakai TCG. I love supporting the those custom card makers. Okay, that's for another video. So let's lock back in. Let me say this right now. This card right here, way too expensive in my personal opinion. I would wait for it to go down in price. And here's the thing. If it doesn't go down in price and it keeps going up in price, I'm just going to have to wait for a reprint. It's one of those situations where I don't like when a card hits this level of expensive, right? This is a little too expensive for my taste, for my blood. Okay, everything else on this page looks really good, though. Everything like under $1 here, like the ace. And like I said, some of these might be around like this one's even actually at 25 cents. It's already good to go. And yeah, like all of these other cards are pretty much extremely affordable, and I don't think it'll hurt to buy these right away. Like if you just need the green purple Luffy leader, okay, 40 cents, yeah, go ahead and buy on that. I mean, how much cheaper is it going to get realistically? Like 25 cents, save 15 cents? I don't know, it's up to you. But everything else I'd probably look into getting whenever you want, because these prices are very, very good. The main ones to look out for is, like I said, this secret rare Luffy, Keep your eye on this card. I would recommend waiting because we don't know what this card's even going to settle at. By the way, one more thing I need to mention, guys. Understand there's supposed to be an announcement. I'm mentioning an announcement to come within our announcement here. There's supposed to be an announcement sometime in the middle of June. So in about 1 month away, I think it might be June 12th is what people were saying. There's supposed to be some update style announcement coming out. Who knows what they might do there, guys? Imagine if they ban a certain card. Imagine if they ban a certain card, maybe Gum Gum Giant or something like that, and then all of a sudden this card's value will probably go way down, okay? I'm not saying they will. Do not misquote me. Do not misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm just trying to keep you guys aware, trying to fill you guys in that there is an announcement coming. So it's supposedly or supposed to be on June 12th, okay? So again, that's about 1 month away from the time you're recording this video and putting it out. Okay, so keep that in mind. I would not, there's no way I'd buy this Luffy. I'd probably wait at least, or not at that price, excuse me. I'd buy it if it starts dropping down like under the $50 range. Then I would seriously consider getting the card because we don't know how much cheaper it will go under that point. But all these other ones here, they're not loading in for some reason. Whoop, there we go. There we go. So the SRs, though, from here, I think all of them are pretty good to buy. I mean, even $8 for Vegapunk, I don't even think that's that crazy if that's all you're waiting on for your deck list for like a Vegapunk deck, or if you're playing some deck with Nefeltari Vivi. Yeah, I mean, spend the $4, get your playset for $16 to $20 and be done with it, and then you can move on from there, right? But this Enel, I do expect this card to go down at least to the $5 range. We'll have to see what happens, and then everything else will probably, stay roughly where it's at and probably dip down a little bit lower out of all these SRs, and even including this Sanji and Pudding. This is probably the best SR. I'll say this. I think this card probably has the most potential out of all the other SRs that were released in this set, but who knows what's going to happen in the future, guys. That's why, let me say this right now before I forget, guys. I know we're all over the place, but you have to lock in for a second and hear me out. There was a point in time when there were these little, quote-unquote, like, crappy SRs from EB01 that no one cared about. No one cared about them, and they're like, yeah, it's like a $2, $3, $4, $5 card. It's an SR. I don't need it. And then what happened? A new leader got revealed in the future, and now that card is really, really expensive. Let me give you one quick example that I have off the top of my head with Shirahoshi. Okay, do you guys remember this card right here? This card right here, it is EB01 Shirahoshi. Look at these sales. If you go back 1 year, this card was sitting at a $3 to $4 mark for a very, very long time. For a very long time, this card was sitting at the $3 to $4 mark. And then what happened? Everyone started understanding that the extra booster sets are a nightmare, and they were like short printed and stuff like that. And then Shirahoshi started getting used in other decks. And now look, it went from $4 all the way up to $20 to $25. It's still $20 to this day. Now, will the card get reprinted in the future? It might, and I hope it does. We don't know. We have no way of knowing. It could get reprinted in the future, and I hope it does. But let me just say this. Now, back to what we were saying. I don't know if I would take the chance if I were you guys. If you can find these SRs for under $5... Don't say I didn't warn you if one of these cards becomes broken. If one of these cards becomes like abused or something or becomes very good, don't say I didn't warn y'all about these SRs from the extra booster sets. I'm just saying. And who knows? None of them might get broken. They might all be trash in the future. What if some card gets banned and every single SR you see on here is terrible? You never know what could happen. But I'm just trying to keep you guys aware, at least trying to fill y'all in on some possibilities. But everything else does look really good from this set as far as prices go. I would probably snatch these up. I don't even know if you have to wait a full week for some of these guys. 1 week, 2 weeks. I don't know if I'd even wait. Like all these cards that are well under $1, it's just like, okay, sure, just snatch those up as soon as you can. But the alt arts, keep your eye on the alt arts if you like to buy those. This one looks so incredible, by the way. Look at this one, guys. The Sanji and Pudding alt art for the EB02 set here. Really love this one. Really love. In fact, for this one, I actually even really like the original art. You guys know this one right here that we were just looking at. This one actually looks really, really good. Really cool. Okay, that's it. So don't worry, guys. That's it for the it's like a quick market watch we're doing, because we're still going to be doing a full-on market watch in about 5 days, and I will try to remember to mention all this stuff we talked about in here in that one, because I want to see how the prices change after just a 5-day period. Because remember, this is the day after release prices, and typically speaking, those prices always go down, or at least they do in the overwhelming majority of cases. They go down, like way down in price. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that. Let's go ahead and move on from here, though. We're going to move over to the spoilers. So right up front here, guys, spoiler warning. Okay, spoiler warning. We're going to be looking at some really amazing, some absolutely incredible new cards from OP12 and some alt arts as well. Okay, so here we go. First up, that was the new Dawn. Let me get that out of the way right now. So this is the new Dawn coming out in OP12. This is like, you know, there's always a special Dawn that comes out in every single set, and this is the one from OP12. Looks amazing. Really big fan of this. I may or may not have to get a full play set of this card. You guys know, or for those who don't know, for those who are new to the channel, Silver's Rayleigh, my favorite character within all of One Piece. So I may or may not have to get a full play set of this card, or this Dawn. It is what it is. Really cool stuff there. Looks great. Okay, so we're going to go backwards. So first up here, we got Shanks. We got a brand new 4-cost, 6,000 power blocker here. It has 4 Emperors and red-haired pirates type. And check this out. On your opponent's turn, once per turn, discard 1 card from your hand, and then up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters gets minus 2,000 power during this turn. It's for the entire turn, and I can't tell you how frustrating that is as a red-yellow Sabo player. One of my least favorite things about the Shanks leader, right? I'm just talking about the normal Shanks, mono red leader. I couldn't stand the fact that his debuff lasts for the entire turn. I'm fine with it lasting for the battle, so that way you get out of my attack. But for someone who plays red-yellow Sabo, that really hurts. So in other words, if I go to swing in for 7,000 and they reduce my power by 1,000 for the turn and they 2k counter out, which is a very good play, well, now I don't get to use my leader effect. You see what I'm saying? Like, typically for red yellow Sabo, I have to have well, not typically. You have to have a power 7,000. You have to have a 7,000 power or higher character on the board that costs 3 or more. So if you drop my 7,000 power character under that for the turn, well, now I can't put him into life like I wanted to. Now I have to invest another Dawn into it. It just becomes an absolute nightmare, an absolute headache. Well, here we go. We got Shanks 2.0 version right here. It's not literally. This is just a character. Of course, you have to trash a card for the effect, but this gives minus 2,000 power during this turn. Now, understand why they're doing that. Of course, they're doing this to help combat some of the green decks out there. Imagine how strong this will be against Zoro. There's a new leader, Zoro, coming out, a mono green 5,000 power, 5 life leader Zoro that has where he can attack pretty much twice for the turn. Okay, well, if that's the case, I can actually, like, let's say we are playing Shanks for this example. I can use my Shanks leader effect to minus 1,000 his attack, and that's for the turn, and then I can also trash a card with this Shanks to minus 2,000 the attack, and now he is minus 3,000. That will kind of negate the 3 Dawn on the character, but that was at what cost? A card from hand just to drop it to 5,000 and my leader effect. And then I still have to give him a card to get out of it if it's a 5k attack to my leader. So it ends up becoming quite the headache, but I do like these effects here. I think it's a very, very powerful effect. And let's talk about one other application. There's many other applications, but there's one other major application we need to talk about for this effect. Have you guys ever heard of this card called Red Hawk? That's right. This card, in combination with Red Hawk, now you are 2-for-1ing yourself. You're trashing a card from hand, and you're using a 2-cost event in the process. But think about what you'll be able to do now with your leader effect. You're going to be able to go minus 1,000 power when they attack, okay? And then during your counter step, minus 2,000 more power from the effect, and then you can pop a 4,000 power character. So that's going to allow you to, it's going to cost you 2 cards from hand, but you're going to get out of the attack, and you're going to KO one of their characters with a Red Hawk. That's going to be a 7,000 power character you're going to be able to hit. Because remember, Red Hawk can hit a 4,000 power character, so minus 1,000 power with your leader effect, and then minus 2,000 more power with this effect here. You're going to be able to, on your opponent's attack, get out of that attack and KO one of their 7,000 power characters. Very, very powerful effect here. I'm a huge fan of this card. And there's also one other thing I want to mention too. I think this card was probably built more with Rayleigh in mind, because of course, Rayleigh is coming out in OP12. There's a brand new leader coming out in OP12, a mono red leader called Rayleigh, and he can only play 4-cost or lower cards in the deck. So this is like the top end of that deck, a 4-cost 6k blocker. That's like the big drop in that deck. That's as big as you can get for the most part. Okay, so this is probably going to be outstanding in Rayleigh, but I think it's going to be very, very good in in Shanks, and I'm surprised they did not save this card right here for the starter deck coming out in Shanks. And don't get me started, guys. There's not going to be any starter deck reveals in this video today because they aren't out yet. We're waiting very patiently. The starter deck is just around the corner. I cannot wait to see what comes out in those new starter decks, but I'm very surprised they did not choose to save this card for the Shanks starter deck. Great card, though. Cannot wait to get my hands on this. Very, very, very solid card here. And who knows, maybe this will open up more Red Hair Pirates options within Red and Yellow Sabo. This might be a pretty decent card in there. It's very defensive. Maybe we can start building a more defensive, like control package again. You never know. We'll have to see what happens. But again, this card, outstanding. Looks excellent. All right, next up, we got some Shirahoshi support, guys. Check out this art. Beautiful. Love to see this. Yeah, really, really charming piece of art here. Looks really nice. Okay, love the colors too. Very sensitive color usage here. Really good stuff. Okay, so next, so let me go and read what this does. We have it. Hang on 1 second, guys. Okay, so I thought I heard something. Okay, so Shirahoshi here, yellow character, 2 costs, 0 power, 1k counter, Merfolk, Fishman Island type. And it has, if one of your characters with an original cost of 6 or less leaves the field by an opponent's effect, you can turn the top card of your life face up instead. Let me read that one more time. If one of your characters with an original cost of 6 or less leaves the field by an opponent's effect, you can turn the top card of your life face up instead. So this is a replacement effect because it has instead built into it. But understand, I think the wording's a little bit off. I think it should say, if one of your characters with an original cost of 6 or less were to leave the field by an opponent's effect, you can turn the top card of your life face up instead. Okay, I think that's the way it's probably supposed to be worded. Someone help me out if I'm off on that. But whatever the case, whatever the idea they're going for here is, they're trying to save it. That's what I'm trying to say. I know that was clumsy. Bear with me, guys. This is an effect that can save your characters on the board. This is a really strong character, and it might be something. It might be the card that Shirahoshi needs to start saving their characters and actually be able to keep a board state and go from there. We'll have to see what happens. I like and I dislike these new effects here, guys. We're starting to see this quite a bit. We first saw it with something like Rosinante, right? This ability to save a character on the board. And then, of course, we start, now we have Tashigi. We also have the 2-cost Beige coming out in OP11. Now we have the 2-cost Shirahoshi. They're very powerful effects that, save your board. I'm a big fan of them. But at the same time, these keep getting more and more powerful. They're starting to get a little bit scary. We'll have to see what happens, because there does have to, of course, there has to be some type of way to balance decks with lots of removal. Typically, I would say blue, black, and red are the decks with the most powerful removal in the game right now. Whereas yellow, green, and purple, they're more about just doing other things, right? They're not really focused on removal, but they still have some. Obviously, every color has at least some form of removal, right? But generally speaking, green and yellow and even purple, like I said, purple is kind of the jack of all trades in here, and really, I feel like black and blue have the most removal, but then red and purple, they're kind of both the jack of all trades if you think about it in just different ways. But green and yellow, they're much more trying to do their own thing, right? Yellow's trying to manipulate life, and green's trying to manipulate Dawn. Okay, or even not manipulate Dawn so much. Well, sometimes, with Cavendish, but also manipulate the orientation of cards, setting cards as active, resting cards, or resting Dawn, setting Dawn as active, keeping Dawn locked down, whatever. But we're starting to see Bandai, they're giving green and yellow these ways to prevent removal, right? It's okay, let's give blue and black these really powerful removal effects, and then we'll give green and yellow these really powerful ways to get around removal effects, right? It kind of seems like that's what they're going for here, and this card seems very good for that. So again, one of your 6-cost or lower characters, you're going to be able to prevent their removal, okay? Again, notice what it is. If it's leaves the field by an opponent's effect. So I would assume that means KO effects, trash effects, bottom deck effects, bounce effects, anything that would cause your character to leave your opponent's or leave their field, by an effect. Then you're going to be able to turn the top card of your life face up instead. Okay, this is a very good effect here, right? Generally speaking, and it's just a little 2-cost character you can play out early. Seems pretty good. I think there's a lot of potential here. Okay, then it has another effect here. On your opponent's turn, if you do not have any other Shirahoshi character with an original cost of 2 on the field, your characters with the type C King have or gain plus 2,000 power, and that's on your opponent's turn if you have no other Shirahoshi on the field, no other 2-cost Shirahoshi on the field. So pretty cool. You know, again, this card is meant to just save your board, protect your board. I don't know if it's going to be enough because I think people are probably just going to, you know, probably just go for this card. But I guess you'll be able to save it one time, though. So I don't know. Maybe this card is actually, you know, actually very, very good. We'll have to see. I want to test it out. It might be very good because it says if one of your characters with an original cost of 6 or less. So that would apply to this card as well, right? I mean, this is a character. It doesn't say with one of your other characters. It just says if one of your characters with an original cost of 6 or less leaves the field by an opponent's effect, you can turn the top card of your life card face up instead. So I would assume this even protects this card the first time. Who knows? We'll have to see what happens. I think there could be some potential here. And I do like that we're at least seeing these kind of effects. But it was something I kind of wish was going to be more like on a like on an event or something like that. Like, I know we don't really have that kind of timing in the game right now. Like, with events, we have main and then counter, right? That's basically the main way we see events working. That's the main timing that they have. But it's too bad there's not like some type of other reaction in the game. That's just like in response to something like we've seen in games like Magic. But who knows? Maybe that would clutter the game up too much, and I don't want that. So after thinking about it, maybe we don't want that. This seems like a good answer. In the meantime, we'll have to see how it goes, though. Tell me what you guys think about these cards in the comment section below. I really want to know what you think about them. All right, so next cards we're going to look at are going to be some alt arts. Check out these incredible, beautiful alt arts with the gold and white, and then whatever the color is. Like, this is a green card on the left, so it's got green, white, and gold. And then this is a blue card on the right, and this has got blue, white, and gold. Love the way these look. These look sensational. Bandai is stepping up the game. It's like every single set that comes out, there's a brand new, incredible looking alt art, and it's like they're just pushing things to the next level. Okay, but yeah, so these cards we have already looked at on the channel before. I don't know if we looked at it in an actual video before or on a stream, but hear me out. These cards right here, I made my camera a little too big, didn't I? These cards right here, this is the new one cost card from Zoro. It's a one cost 3k counter for your leader. You can counter out of an attack on your leader for 3k for 1 Dawn, or you can pay 4 altogether, pay 1 plus 3, and then you can tap down 2 characters or Dawn, just like Hody Jones. I think it's called Dead Man's Game, I think is the name. It's like Demon Asura, whatever, Dead Man's Game. Really, really cool event there. And then on the one on the side, on the right, excuse me, this blue one here, it even has a little bit of purple in it. I love how they did that for Blue Purple Sanji, of course. And I think this is called like Buff Shot, and this one's really powerful as well, where it's an activate main, choose one. One of them has the ability to bounce a card back to your opponent's hand, and the other effect has the ability to draw 2. In fact, let's go ahead and look at those right now, just so you guys know what they are for those who are not aware of some of the new cards. And don't worry, we'll come back to these. Don't worry, guys. We'll come back to those other ones that we haven't gone over yet. So here's the Buff Shot one. Here's what it would normally look like. They actually have, yeah, I think it's like the same picture, just not as cool looking. And it has activate. It's a 3-cost Straw Hat Blue event here with no trigger, but it has main. If your leader's multicolored, choose one. Return up to one of your opponent's cost 4 or lower characters to the owner's hand, so bounce a 4 cost back to the hand. Or if your hand size is 6 or lower, draw 2 cards. That card's going to be absolutely incredible. And then here's the other one, Demonic 9-Sword Style Asura, Dead Man's Game. Dead Man's Game. That sounds really cool. Okay, and this one, again, it's pretty much the same picture. It just looks way cooler with the new version, with like the alt art version. And this one has a main effect of you may rest 3 of your Dawn, so it'll be 1 to activate it and 3 to pay the activation cost, or however you'd say that. Okay, you'd have to pay 4 Dawn altogether to rest up to a total of 2 of your opponent's characters and or Dawn cards. And you could do like 1 character, 1 Dawn, or 2 Dawn, or 2 characters, whatever way you want to do it, whatever way you want to split it. And then it's a counter of 3,000 for your leader. Okay, really good stuff there. Okay, let's go back down to the bottom. So that's this first alt art over here. These look incredible. These look really, really cool. Okay, then we have a manga. That's right, we got so the manga is going to be the Bonnie. Okay, this is the 5-cost 6k 1k counter blocker Bonnie we saw. It's a secret rare normally, and it has this ability where it's like if you have 8 or more, I think it's if you have 8 or more rested cards when you play on play, if you have 8 or more rested cards, so that could be characters, Dawn, stages, leader, you name it. If you have 8 or more rested cards on your side of the field, draw 2, trash 1 on play. Really, really good stuff here, and the manga looks great. Okay, wasn't trying to zoom in there. There we go. Okay, we got more alt art. So this is the normal secret rarity alt art. This is the card we were just talking about. This is the normal secret rarity alt art. It's weird to say that because there's 3 different rarities, right? There's the secret rarity, which we'll look at in a second. Then there's the alt art for the secret rarity, and then there's the manga for the secret rarity. This is the alt art for the secret rarity. The same binding we just looked at. Very nice. And then this is the other secret rare from the set. Really cannot wait to play with this card. Cannot wait to get my hands on this one. We got Kuma here. This is the alt art for the secret rare Kuma. I love those blues and yellows or blues and golds. Looks really, really good. You know, cannot wait to get my hands on these. Okay, now we got a whole line of alt arts. Check these out, guys. So we got Rosinante and Trafalgar Law here. The 1 cost Searcher Rosinante and the 7 cost 8,000 power Trafalgar Law. These look really good. I will say this, I actually am a big fan, you know, controversial view here, or hot take. I love the art on the left. The Rosinante on the left, I really like that style. It's a little scratchy, and I feel like it's just full of character, and it's like full of emotion. I feel like the artist did an incredible job on that piece there. Really love what they did. And again, notice the background. It basically just goes out of, it pretty much just goes out of focus. If you think about it, guys, like what is even going on in the background? And that's actually perfect for the viewer if you do like, you know, if you actually really like One Piece and you know all about Rosinante's story, then all of it starts making sense. And that becomes like a hidden detail within itself. Excellent job, you know, incredible job on this one from the artist. Really love this, and I do love the blurriness of it, but everything we need to see is front and centered. And like I said, notice the eyes. You know, this man has got a lot on his mind. Like he's got a heavy burden, is the way it looks. You know what I mean? At least that's the interpretation I have as a viewer with zero knowledge of like Rosinante within the story. Looks great, looks incredible. Okay, then we have Law on the side here. This one looks good as well. Obviously, he's fighting against Doflamingo here. Very cool looking scene. I love all the greens and blues and purples in here. You can tell with these alt arts like that are foiled. You can tell they're going to look so good in person. Okay, so that's the first one. I'll try not to take this long on all of them, guys. This is going to end up being like an hour-long video. I thought this was going to be like a 20-minute video. I just can't be quiet. I just keep on yapping. You guys know how it is. Hopefully you guys are used to it by now. Okay, so here we go. So we got the red ones. We got some red alt-arts here. The 4-cost Luffy and the 2-cost Boa. We're going to be going over this card in just a minute. This card got spoiled last night. Looks great. Or I should say this morning. It's really like this morning where I live. So these look really good as well. Next up, the Mihawk and the Tashigi, and okay, these are my favorite ones by far. And you guys know, okay, I say anyone who has been following the channel for long enough knows, but the newer players might not. Green is probably like my least favorite color in the game, but I don't, you know, if you like green, it's nothing against the people who play the color green. I just don't like the play style of it. It's not my favorite. But let me tell you right now, even with that in mind, these are my favorite alt arts so far. Look at the Perona, the colors. Unbelievable. Like this piece pops. This Perona with those pinks, and look at the star up here, and imagine how this will look foil. Thumbs up. This is a 100 out of 100. Looks awesome. You know, maybe that was a little too high of a rating, but I really love the way it looks. Now look at this Mihawk. The way the forearm is going straight at us. Really well executed. The hand probably could have been slightly larger, but it looks just fine the way it is. The sword cutting straight into our area as the viewer. Amazing. And Tashigi. Look at this Tashigi, guys. This is awesome. This is a whole nother art. I mean, these are all different art styles, obviously, but this one in particular is interesting to me. I really love this. And that pose right there where she is cutting the frame in half with her sword going right through the face. Awesome. And it's also very awesome considering what this piece does right here. I'm going to spoil it a little bit because we're about to talk about it. This is a new 5-cost 7,000 power Tashigi. We're about to talk about literally right after these alt arts we're going to go over, and it helps Zoro. So there's almost like this conflicted, you know, again, it's cutting her face in half. It's almost like this sword is cutting her entire personality in half, right? It's showing the inner conflict because she's about to help out Zoro. She's going to help out Zoro with this, and she's a Navy character. This is incredible. This is a masterpiece here as far as like what's going on within the game and the character and the style and the execution. Incredible. Love this one. Okay, let's keep going. So that was the green ones. Moving over to blue. Oh man, can't say enough good things about these guys. I'm going to try not to spend too much time on this, but these look so good. The art just gets better and better in this game. I love to see it. I can't get enough of it. Look at the Garp here. Look, he's about to punch me in the head. Look, I'm like, oh, he's like about to hit me. I gotta look this way, right? There we go for the camera. He's about to hit me with the with his fist here. You know, chill, Garp. I'm trying to give you a compliment here, bro. He's trying to beat me up. He's like, what did you say about Tashigi? You know, how dare you, right? But then we got on the left here, we got Kuzan. Yeah, that one just looks good as well. He's just covered in ice because, of course, that's his Devil Fruit power. And that intensity. Look at the eyes, guys. Look at, like, I mean, where he's just looking straight into the camera like that, you know, straight into the viewer's face. Like he's totally, you know, we're about to get blasted by something from Kuzan here. This just looks so good. And remember what this character does. He freezes for a turn. Oh, man, just too good. The flavor's too good, guys. The flavor's too good. Okay, then we have Sanji and Reiju. This Sanji is really good, guys. I can't wait to talk about this card in just a minute. And then the Reiju's good as well. But the Sanji we haven't gone over yet. Cannot wait to talk about this one. And let me zoom out. I think there's one more. Oh, man. Okay. We're definitely going to be playing some Black Yellow Koala here on the channel whenever that becomes more available on the sim. Cannot wait to get my hands on Black Yellow Koala and the Revo Army package there, and it's like a pseudo Dressrosa package as well. But man, these alt arts here look very clean. Huge fan of this Koala in the middle. The water, you know, enveloping this entire picture. It adds like even more action to it. It adds like an entire flow to it. The Nico Robin looks incredible as well. People must really love drawing the Nico Robins. I feel like some of the best art in the game is of Nico Robin. I don't know how that works. Maybe it's something to do with the fan base. It is what it is. Looks really good. And then Dragon over here looking menacing. Look at that. He's got the, you know, like the, what would you call it? Like the furrowed eyebrow there, just looking frustrated, you know, like I'm up to no good. He's got his hand extended. He's in full control of the situation. Thunder, lightning in the background, rain pouring in at an angle. You know, that's when you know the rain's bad, right? Like when the rain's coming down normal, it's like, oh, this is annoying. But when the rain's coming in at an angle, you know, there's a lot of heavy winds involved, right, guys? There's a lot of heavy winds involved. Really cool. Great alt arts here. These look so good. Okay, that's it for the alt arts, right? Then we go back to yellow, purple, yeah, with Rosinante and Law. Okay. We're not done. Okay, I forgot about some of these guys. We're not done. We have even more alt arts to talk about. Look at these. These are incredible, guys. Now, okay, this might be my actual favorite style of alt arts so far. Does that mean I'll own any of them? Probably not. But this style right here, it just looks unbelievable. Like with the black in the background. Oh, man, that is nice. That is nice. Like, we got Tashigi over here. We got Lim. We got Yasop. So these are, of course, going to be the SPs, like special alt arts that are from previous sets, but they're going to be in OP12, right? So these are cards that were originally released in previous sets. And then, you know, but they're going to be available in OP12. Okay, that is something that Bandai does. Oh, wow. Yeah, look at these. So, that ace on the right, am I going to have to, like, just own one of those? So that might just be a piece that I have to get, like, graded and just framed on the side. I don't, like, never play it. Just keep it on the side. I like the Kuzan as well. The Kuzan and, what is that? That's Zoro on the left. Okay, that's the 4-call 6K. I think that's the top 5 searcher Zoro. I can't tell. Obviously, I don't read, you know, Japanese guys. But that piece looks incredible as well. But I'm really in love with the ace over here on the right. This looks so good. 5-call 7K, the Rush ace. That card is very near and dear to me as a Red Yellow Sabo player. Oh, just so good. Incredible. All right, let's keep going. And it's got the black and gold, guys. That's like, oh man. Can't say enough. Can't say enough good things. Whoa, okay. I had not seen this one. So I had seen the others a little bit. Like I at least gone through these when I was making the video for today. I was like, okay, cool. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about that. Making my lesson plans for today's video, right? And I had not seen this one. This one was hidden to me. This is really cool. So this is the 10 cost 12K Marshall D Teach that can, you know, lock down a character for the turn and then shut off an effect and all this other stuff. Really good card. And black and gold, I'm immediately interested. I'm already in love with it. This looks really cool. That's another really good looking piece. This is basically just a piece of art at this point. I mean, honestly, guys, it's almost a card. It's almost not worth playing the card. It just looks too good. Just frame that bad boy and have it be a conversation piece at your house. Love to see that. Okay, and is that it? Yep, now we're going back to the others. Okay, well, that was out of nowhere, all those alt arts, guys. I kind of forgot about that a little bit. Yeah, we're already 48 minutes deep into this video, but here we go. So now we're going to talk about this 5-cost 7K Tashigi I was referencing earlier. Check this out, guys. We have a 5-cost, 7,000 power East Blue Navy character, and on play, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with an original cost of 6 or less. This is a 5-cost 7K with an on play to rest of 6 or less, and then give your leader, Zoro, up to 3 rested Dawn cards. This is nice, guys. This card is nice. A 5-cost 7K with an on play to rest of 6 would have already been good enough. Like, that would have already been like, okay, cool, that's in the conversation. But then give your Zoro up to 3 rested Dawn cards. Then give your leader Zoro up to 3 rested Dawn cards. It's so good. This piece is so good here, man. This card, I keep saying piece because we were just talking about art pieces down there, but this character is so strong. I got to talk to my guy Joey about this. Me and Joey were talking about this Heart Pirates TCG. We were talking about Zoro, and he was saying he thinks it might not be that good, but we have to see more stuff coming out, of course. This might change his mind. I'll have to message him about that later. I think this card is incredible, and this card alone, again, you see what's happening. And in fact, I don't want to be unfair. I'm pretty sure that's what Joey was even saying was, hey, the leader doesn't look that good unless it gets a bunch of characters that do really cool effects and then give him 3 Dawn. Then it's going to be insane, right? Well, we're starting to see that now. This card might be absolutely incredible in the new Zoro. In fact, it will be. This card will just be good, period, I think. It's a 5-cost 7K that rests down to 6 or less. This might even see play outside Zoro. I know that sounds crazy. Maybe not, because the 5-cost slot is so full right now in green with Cavendish, Smoker, Carrot, Bonnie, 5-cost Trafalgar Law. In the color green, the 5-cost spot is completely stacked, but within Zoro, this card is perfect for that. This will be really good, I think. Okay, so now here's the boa we were looking at up above. Really good looking art. Really cool looking piece here. Very interesting effect. So Boa Hancock is a 2-cost 3K 7 Warlords Kuja Pirate character, and this is red, of course. On play, you're going to do a top 5 search. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck and reveal up to 1 red event or Monkey D. Luffy. Okay, so a card named Monkey D. Luffy, and put it into your hand. Then place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Then it has Activate Main. You may trash this character, give up to one of your leader or characters up to 2 of your rested Dawn cards. So this is really, really nice. So what you're going to be able to do is search up, a card. So on play, search up a card. And I would even kind of look at it like this. So I would attack in, I'm wondering, hang on. So I have a ruling question here. If I'm understanding this correctly, and of course we have to wait for the FAQ, and of course we have to wait for proper, complete, total translations and everything like that, and see what they look like on the card. But I wonder, notice how this Activate Main says you may trash this character first. That's the first part of the cost, and then it says give up to one of your leader or characters up to 2 of your rested Dawn cards. So hear me out. Say I play this card out on turn 2 or turn 1. So turn 1 I play this card out, right? Now, I wonder, so now I pass I do a search, right, because on play we get to do a top 5 search for an event or a Monkey D. Luffy, and now I pass the turn, now it's back to my turn, and it's still on the board. If I attach 2 Dawn to this card and swing for 5, can I then trash this card, and then the 2 Dawn that were attached to this character go back to play rested, or go back to the resource area rested? Would I be able to use those 2? I'm pretty sure you would be able to. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure you'd be able to do that, and that does add some value to this card within Rayleigh. So let me say this right now, guys. This card is obviously meant for Rayleigh. It's a 4-cost or lower, right, red character within OP12, so it's obviously built with the intent of being used in Rayleigh. You're searching up red events for Rayleigh, or Monkey D. Luffy, because it's Boa. Whoops, sorry guys, I hit the microphone. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. Yeah, hopefully that wasn't too loud, guys. My thumb just scraped right across the front of my microphone. But Boa, she's looking up it's kind of cool, right? She's either looking for something that's going to help out Rayleigh with one of his his hockey events, or she's looking for her guy Monkey D. Luffy. So this card is perfectly made, right? Like as far as flavor goes, like design goes, and then the Activate Main's really not that bad. I'll attach 2 Dawn. Or say I don't have time to attach 2 Dawn. Say I have to go for lethal or something. Okay, well, I'll just trash this character and put 2 Dawn on another character because she's only a 3K. So maybe there's an idea where I can just attack into something on the board that's like a 1 or a 2K, attack into it for 3 with my Boa here, and then trash it, and then attach 2 Rested Dawn to a character or leader, right? Give up to one of your leaders or characters 2 of your Rested Dawn cards. So really, really good stuff here. I think this is a really solid card. Okay, I think we got 1 or 2 more. Yeah, we got 2 more to go over, guys. So this one is Sanji. This is the 3-cost, 5,000 power Sanji. It's an Alabasta Straw Hat Crew character. We don't see much Alabasta, especially within purple, so that's interesting. Are they preparing something? Are they preparing us for something in the future here? We'll have to see. So anyway, this card has 2 different effects. One is like Burgess, right? So this is a 3-cost, 5,000 power character with no counter. So it's vanilla stated, but it has 2 effects and no counter. So for every 5 events in your trash, this character gains plus 1,000 power. Now understand that is a nice buff, but events, that's a lot of events in your trash. This is basically a 3-cost 5k, okay, guys? And then later in the game, it might be a 3-cost 6k. Because having more than 5 events in your trash at one time, that doesn't seem like it's going to happen very often, especially not early on. But we'll have to see. Maybe there will be a way to fill up your trash with whatever deck this will end up going in. Maybe if it goes in blue-purple Sanji, maybe we'll have more ways to fill up cards in the trash. We'll have to see what happens. But having, I mean, realistically, just running 10 events in a deck alone to push this to a 3-cost 7k is already asking for a lot. And then to have those in your trash at one time, like, I would imagine this card will more than likely be a 3-cost 6k most of the time. Like, when, you know, entering into the mid to late game. Early on, it's just a 3-cost 5k. But, you know, going later into the game, maybe it will become a 3-cost 6k, or a 3-cost 7k is probably as big as it will ever go. We'll have to see what happens. But then there's also another effect on here that says when this character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effects, you may instead return 1 Dawn to your Dawn deck. So one thing I will say about this card is they are not removing this unless you want to let them remove it, right? Because you just don't attack, right? I mean, just play out a 3-cost 5k here, and then it says when this character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effects, you may instead return 1 Dawn to your Dawn deck. So if they're trying to remove this with some type of event or on-play effect or whatever, some type of effect, they're not going to be able to do it unless you want to let them do it. Because you could just keep returning Dawn back, right? I mean, unless you have no Dawn left. I couldn't imagine anyone having that much removal built in. But this is a card that can be very sticky, and you can pretty much just put it on the board and say, all right, pass. And I'm just not going to use it ever until I actually have to, and you're never getting rid of this card. Because that is not a once-per-turn effect, right? When this character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effects, you may instead return 1 Dawn to your Dawn deck. So again, unless there's some type of mistranslation, this is not a once-per-turn effect. You can just keep saving the character over and over again. This card's very solid, but it's also just not special. It's just a very dependable, specific card. It's just a nice 3-cost 5k to play out. I don't think it's really much else than that, but it's not bad either, right? It's going to do exactly what it's supposed to do. So yeah, I think it's going to be worth running for sure, especially in blue-purple Sanji. Okay. Last but not least here, actually, have I gone over... I might go over a few more, guys, just to make sure people have seen these, for those who have not seen all the spoilers from OP12. Or at least not the most recent ones, let me say it like that. We're not going to go over all of them. But this is a promo card. We have Zoro is a 4-cost, 4,000 power Straw Hat Crew, 2k counter with on play, KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 2 or less. So this is simply a utility 2k counter. I don't think the card's great. It's a 4-cost 4k, but it's a 2k counter, right? And what you're going to be able to do is like KO some type of little crappy, you know, searcher or little blocker that's rested. Well, I don't know why a blocker would be rested, but you guys get my point. This is not a bad card, but it's also not an incredible card. It's a good looking card, that's for sure. Look at the trees in the background. I can't tell if those are like cherry blossom, like sakura trees or what. I think they're sakura trees. I could be wrong. It's kind of hard to tell from this angle with the color and all that, but it looks really cool. It's a good looking card, but it's a promo, so please, guys, be careful with that. Take that with a grain of salt. I don't know if we're ever even gonna see this card in the West, right? Promos are such a nightmare. Let me not even go down that tangent. But other than that, the card itself looks pretty good. It's a nice, solid, searchable Straw Hat 2k counter with some potential upside. We'll take it every single time. Okay. Then we have Luffy is the man that would become the king of the pirates. This is a 1-cost purple event, Straw Hat Crew main. If your leader is Sanji, look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put 1 card into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So that is a top 3 searcher of any card in the game. Now, your leader has to be Sanji, obviously. You have to have a purple Sanji leader to run this card. But if your leader is Sanji, you're going to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and you're going to put one of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. You're not going to reveal that card. It doesn't say reveal the card and put the rest on the bottom. No, no. You're going to take that card, goes in your hand. Your opponent has no idea what you're playing still. And this is a 1-cost card, right? So you can play this on turn 1, and your opponent's not going to have any idea what's coming later. So you're going to do some top 3 searching. Really good stuff there. And the first thing I thought about when I saw this card was this 4-cost blue ulti. It's like a 4-cost blue ulti. It's a 4-cost 5k with a 1k counter that says if your leader is multicolored, you do a top 3 search just like this, and then you draw 1 card to your hand, and then you put the other 2 on the top or bottom of your deck, you know, in the order of your choice. So who knows? Maybe there will be a deck for blue-purple Sanji that ends up just kind of doing a bunch of searching early on, fills up the trash, gets some little bodies on the board, like either the 3-cost 5k we just looked at, or the 4-cost 5k ulti I was just talking about. There could be something here, and you're fixing your hand, and your opponent doesn't know what you're drawing. Like, what are they doing? What are they trying to draw over there? They have no idea. They'll find out later, though, won't they? They'll find out later. Really cool stuff here. Okay, then we have Luffy is the one who will become the Pirate King. Okay, we have 2 cards called Luffy is the One. Okay, this one is Luffy is the one who will become the Pirate King, and then this one is Luffy is the man who will become King of the Pirates. So they're a little bit different, I think, unless it's just a translational thing. Who knows? But let me see. You can probably tell by the way they look, just looking at the font. Yeah, I think these are the exact same font, guys. Like, I'm going character by character. These are identical. I think these are identical named cards here. Really cool stuff. Now, this one is a 3-cost Straw Hat Crew event for green. Main, set up to one of your Zoro leaders is active. And then trigger up to one of your leader or characters gains plus 1,000 power during this turn. Wow, very high utility card. I have talked about this before. I think this was the last one I talked about in last week's stream. This is, I should say this week's stream, because we're not even in next week yet, at least as far as my mind goes. So this card, incredible, 3 costs to stand up your leader. It's just like with Uda, who had I'm Invincible. It's the same idea card, and the trigger's really good as well. Okay, and then I mentioned Shakuyaku here. I don't think I mentioned this in the last time I did one. I don't know if I mentioned Dragon either. I can't go through all of them. We're going to stop here at Shakuyaku, who is a 1-cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter Amazon Lily card. And she has an on-play top 5 search for a Luffy or an event card. Put in your hand, rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So this card is just like the Boa here, but it's like a 1-cost version where it's doing roughly the same thing. The Boa is obviously very stronger because first of all, it's a 2-cost 3k versus a 1-cost 2k, but this card does not have a counter. That is the one major knock against this card, is it does not have a counter, but it does have that secondary activate main effect, which is really, really powerful. Okay, really good stuff there. And I think that's it, guys. I will leave this up for, I'll leave Dragon as the final one here. It's just an 8-cost, 8,000 power character, Revo Army on play. You may return 3 cards with a Revo Army type from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. And then if your leader has the Revo Army type, play up to 1 character with a cost of 6 or less from your trash. This card, I'm like 99% sure I already went over this card, but I can't remember if it was in a video or on the stream, so I will talk about it one more time as the final card here. 8 cost, 8,000 power character, just like, I can imagine this card's going to be very good in like a black-red Revo Army Sabo deck with all the new Revo Army cards that are coming out that are filling up your trash very consistently. I think that this effect is going to be very dependable. I think it's going to be a very consistently, usable effect as long as you're seeing any of your early game stuff, like the new 1-cost Koala that fills up your trash, the 1-cost event that fills up your trash, the 3-cost blocker Ivankov that fills up your trash, the 5-cost, 6,000 power 2k counter Sabo, draw 2 trash 2, it fills up your trash, or even the yellow one, the draw 2 trash one by taking your life card. There's a lot of options there, and this is going to be a great card that's going to be able to cheat out something like the new 6-cost Kuma. Really good stuff here. I'm going to end it on that, though. All right, we're done, guys. Ended up pushing into an hour. Yeah, very quick, short video lined up for today that I had planned. Ended up being an hour long. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me go ahead and put the sim overlay up. OP12 is looking... Well, not the sim overlay. What am I talking about? The outro. OP12 is looking incredible. I cannot wait to see more stuff. I cannot wait for them to update things on the sim. I'll be putting a lot of time into OP12. But yeah, we'll talk about that more in another video. I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Be sure to tell me what y'all think about in the comment section. Or please be sure to tell me what you guys think about these new OP12 cards in the comment section below. I am really loving the direction of OP12. It looks like it's going to be one of the funnest sets that's maybe the funnest set to come out. We'll have to see. All right, I'm done. Guys, if you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, using my TCG Player affiliate link, whatever you're doing to help out the channel, support me, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Anyone who's donating through Patreon or PayPal, the Playmat supporters, the YouTube members, and the Discord community, thank you guys so much. You guys are great. This community is great. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you all enjoyed. Until next time, guys. Peace.